Tuesday. The sun's come out, super happy about that. It's been dreary all day. I have for you today, it's gonna be a quick workout. We're gonna do a cardio with a traditional Pilates exercise. It's all things that you know. I like to keep things a little bit more simple right now. We're not trying to recreate the wheel. We just wanna get off the couch and get our heart rates up. So I'm gonna do 6 exercises total. I have my handy little timer here. It'll be 30 on, 10 off. I'm gonna do 2 rounds. If you wanna continue to do this and do the whole thing again after, that's awesome. This is also something like you wake up in the morning, you wanna get a little invigorated for the day, or maybe even sit on the couch for a couple hours and you just wanna get up, get your heart rate spiked up for 10 minutes. This is a great go-to. It's safe, everybody can do it, as long as you are obviously medically supervised. But we're gonna do a quick warm up and then we'll get to it. So first thing, just go ahead and you're just gonna stand on your mat or whatever you've got handy. We're just gonna start with some alternating front lunges. All I wanna do here is to open up the hips. Once again, a lot of us have been sitting. So we wanna open those hip flexors up, get those quads a little loosened up, and we're focusing on squeezing the glutes, keeping the chest nice and lifted, abs super tight, of course. Just go one more each side. And then from there, we're gonna come into a wide split stance, big sumo squat position, feet turned out. You're just gonna go ahead and drop those hips down. You're just gonna go ahead and press your elbows out into those, stretching those inner thighs. You wanna make sure you're sitting back into your heels. Hips are reaching down towards the floor. You don't want to be rounded. So we're lifting the chest, getting that nice wide collarbone that we always like, shifting back and forth. Just kind of breathing into it, standing on up there, squeeze those glutes, and let's do that one more time. Just coming down, back and forth. You should be able to lift your toes off slightly so you're not leaning forward. Nice flat, neutral spine. Good, and then from there, we're gonna go ahead and just stand up, come to the end of your mat. We're just gonna do a roll down to a walkout. So chin to the chest, just gonna roll it down. Just gonna alternate bending one knee at a time here. Loosening up those hamstrings, and then just walk it out to your plank. And then walking it back, and rolling it up. Roll those shoulders back a couple times. And then one more time, chin to the chest. Try to go a little further. Once again, you can alternate bending one knee at a time, pressing out to your plank, and then coming back and rolling it back up, okay? So as I said, these exercises are all things you're gonna be familiar with. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start with a 30 on, 10 off. We'll go ahead and you can always just play it again after, okay? So enjoy. I will coach you through it, but it's gonna get me winded a little bit too, so forgive me for that. So enjoy. This first one, we're gonna start with those feet turned out, okay? We're gonna come down to a little squat, alternating, tapping that opposite foot. Down. So you wanna be pressing those knees outward, sitting back into your heels. Chest is up, so I'm just not trying to lean forward, trying to drop that tailbone down. Good, and then from there, we're gonna come onto the floor. We're gonna go into a double leg stretch. So hands, go to bed, go to bed. Hands are gonna be on your shins. You're gonna reach out, circle the arms, and then coming back in. So I'm reaching my biceps by my ears, reaching those legs long, trying to touch that opposite wall. So if you want a little more of a challenge, you can keep your knees at 90, or you can always bring them in, which is going to be a little more traditional, as long as you're keeping those shoulders away from the ears, nice strong arms. Good. Stand it back up. We got one more round. Good boy. Stay there. That's Hefe, by the way, my daytime quarantine buddy. Okay, so same thing. So sitting back into those heels. Every time trying to go a little lower if you can, pushing those knees outward. Also, if you're like me and you live in an apartment, you want to try to keep your feet as light as possible. so you don't irritate your neighbors. It's also better for your form. Perfect. And then we're back down. So eyes are going to be just looking at those knees. Chest is up. Reaching those arms. Circle around. Reaching and around. So every time I'm trying to squeeze those glutes, wrapping them around, and trying my best not to let my chest drop. Using those muscles over the rib cage to keep me lifted. Reaching and circle. A few more here. And we're going to go into our second two exercises. Perfect. So standing up. So we've got ice skaters and then single leg stretch after this. So we're going to go opposite hand again, but this time we're trying to go nice and wide. Once again, dropping those hips, sitting back into the heels. Getting that nice twist through the torso, focusing on those obliques. Imagine you had little cones here. Every time I'm reaching past my foot, trying to touch that cone. And we're back down, so single leg stretch. We all know it, Cardio Pilates. Starting our tabletop, inside hand, inside knee, and we switch. So nice strong biceps, but relaxing the shoulders and neck, reaching long through those legs. Closing that rib cage. Perfect. We got one more round. You hear the banging around. My neighbor upstairs is moving. Thank goodness. So it's being a little loud. Anyway, here we go. Back to our ice skaters. So I'm always trying to reach past that foot. Once again, chest is up. I'm not looking at the camera because I don't want to put strain on my neck. I'm looking just a little bit out past where I'm going. Good. And one more time. Onto the floor. Inside hand, pressing. If you want to add a little bicycle movement pattern to it, you can certainly do that. Scooping it up. Try to keep that torso as still as possible. Knitting that ribcage together. Perfect. Okay. Last set, we're going to do mountain climbers and a side plank. So we're starting here, hands right underneath your shoulders. So you can do regular mountain climbers, or if you want to add the twist, you can certainly do that too. So really pulling that belly button in, pressing up into your shoulder girdle. And then we're going to go into a side plank. So you're going to be on your elbow. You can do straight arm, of course, if you'd like as well. Top leg forward. You're going to come up. We're going to reach that arm under, back up, and then a little hip drop. So coming under and up, hip drop. So I'm focusing on that bottom oblique, lifting my chest, pushing my shoulder away from my ear. Almost there. Go to the other side, of course. Almost there. So we're up, wrapping that arm, and dropping that hip. You want to make sure as you drop the hip, you're not sinking into your shoulder. So I'm still pushing my shoulder away from my ear, even as my hip comes down. Hips are forward. I'm not hinged at all. Perfect. From there, we're going to go ahead and do one more set of our mountain climbers. Once again, you can do straight in or crisscross. It's up to you. Nice soft feet on the floor. Good, almost there, guys. Go to bed, bud. Have go to bed. Go to bed. Good boy, go to bed. Good boy. Perfect. Last one. Side plank. And coming up, wrapping that arm up, dropping the hip. Keep pushing that shoulder away from the ear. Still knitting that rib cage together so you're not going into your lower back. Last one. Okay, last side here. So wrapping that arm and drop the hip. Once again, you shouldn't feel any shoulder pain here because I'm pressing my shoulder away from my ear, engaging through that lat. Perfect. And that is it, guys. So, as I said, about 10 minutes, well-rounded workout. Get some cardio, get some hip openers, get some rotation. And that is it. So, happy Tuesday. Hopefully the sun will come out for us again. My quarantine buddy here, this is where his bed usually is, so he's probably wondering what the heck I was doing. So anyway, have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks, guys. Oh, and you can follow me on Fitness, Wine, Travel.